Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Educare. Our next topic is capital gain tax. Capital gain tax is charged on gains arising on a chargeable person on making chargeable disposal of chargeable assets. तो इसमें तीन बातें हैं. Chargeable persons means it includes individuals and companies, and the main point to remember is that the UK resident individual are subject to UK tax on all disposal of chargeable assets, right? Now there is a detail of chargeable disposal. These are said to be sale or gift of the whole or part of an asset, exchange of an asset, loss or total destruction of an asset, and apart from this, receipt of capital sum derived from an asset, like you are receiving compensation for damage of an asset and a receipt for the surrender of right of asset. While disposal, exempt disposals are disposal as a result of the death of an individual and gift to charities. And apart from this, chargeable assets are given to you. Common examples: freehold land and building, goodwill, unquoted shares, quoted shares, certain types of chattels. Our exempts include motor vehicle, main residence, cash, and so on. All these are said to be your exempt assets, right? Now about the calculation of gain and loss. How to calculate gain and loss? For this we have to compare the net proceed with allowable expenses. What we have to do? We have to compare the net proceed with the allowable expenses. So now what is mean by net proceed? How to calculate the net proceed? It is a difference of gross proceed and incidental cost of disposal. Means you have to deduct, you have to minus incidental cost of disposal, the cost related to disposal, like if you have paid a commission or advertised for the selling that particular asset, this is said to be incidental cost of disposal, marketing cost, commission cost. So gross proceed में से ये less कर दें तो net proceed आ जाएगी. And how to calculate the allowable expenses? It is original cost of purchases, incidental cost of sales, and enhancement expenditure. In fact, it is not incidental cost of sales, this is incidental cost of acquisition. It is incidental cost of acquisition, not sales, right? So again, what is allowable expenses? Cost of purchases, incidental cost of acquisition, and enhancement expenditure. Now about the pro forma. First you have to calculate chargeable gain or chargeable loss on each type of asset. पहले आपको calculate करना है gain or loss on every asset. Then we have to net them off. यानी in this year we have sold some asset and have a gain on them, and on some asset we have some loss, so we need to net off them. So this is said to be net chargeable gain for the year. Like for example, on one asset we have a gain of 100, on other asset we have a loss of 30, so it is a net chargeable gain of 70. Same like that. Then we have to deduct, remember sequence wise, you have to deduct the annual exempt amount. First calculate net chargeable gain, then deduct annual exempt amount, which is for this current year 12,300. Then if there are any capital losses brought forward, these should be deducted. Now this is the amount that is said to be taxable gain for you. Taxable gain means the amount on which you have to pay capital gain tax liability. Now capital gain tax liability is calculated in accordance with the appropriate rate, whether it is a normal rate or residential property rate, whatever. Next is payment on account on residential property disposal. Remember, if you have disposed of residential property, you have to submit this information within 60 days of disposal with a tax. आपको ये 60 days के अंदर tax authorities को HMRC को बताना है with payment of tax. So residential property पे चूँकि आप टैक्स पहले से पे कर चुके हुए हैं, so that is where liability में से ये payment on account deduct की जाएगी, तो तब आपको पता चलेगा कि what is your CGT payable for the current year. Just like income tax payable and income tax liability का जो difference है कि income tax liability में से आप पे एज यू अर्न माइनस करते हैं तो आपके पास इनकम टैक्स पेबल आता है. सेम लाइक दैट फ्रॉम CGT liability you have to deduct the payment on account and you will get the CGT payable. Remember what is mean by payment on account? On the disposal of UK residential property, you have to report to HMRC within 60 days of such disposal with the amount of tax. So आप चूँकि tax pay कर चुके हैं at that time, so that is said to be deducted from CGT liability and you will get the CGT payable. So what is the difference of terms of chargeable gain and taxable gain? Chargeable gain कहते हैं gain before deduction of annual exempt amount and capital losses. यानी कैपिटल लॉसेस और एनुअल एग्जाम्प्ट अमाउंट को डिडक्ट करने से पहले जो आपके पास गेन आता है दैट इज़ नोन टू बी चार्जेबल गेन एंड टैक्सेबल गेन इज सेड टू बी आफ्टर डिडक्टिंग दिस एनुअल एग्जाम्प्ट अमाउंट एंड कैपिटल लॉसेस. सो इन दिस परफॉर्मा दिस इज योर chargeable gain and this is your taxable gain. So remember these terms when you have been asked in the question whether to calculate the taxable gain or to calculate the chargeable gain. Rates are given to you. Rates are basic rate for normal properties is 10% and for higher rate it is 20%. But if you have sold out a residential property, the rate for basic is 18% and higher is 28%. Due date for CGT, like tax year 22-23, the date will be, the date of payment of CGT is 31st January 24. So this is the first illustration. Sergei sold an antique vase for 12,000 and a painting for 20,000. So these are said to be disposal proceed 12,000 and 20,000 for antique vase and painting. He incurred auctioneer's fee of 1% of proceed. 1% of proceed is said to be the selling expense. He acquired the asset for 13,000 and 7,000. So we have to calculate this separately. For antique vase, if you are to calculate for antique vase, the sale proceed is 12,000 gross proceed and the cost of commission of auctioneer commission is 1% of 12,000, that is 120. So the net amount of net disposal proceed is 11,880. While its acquisition cost is given as 13,000. So allowable cost is greater than net sale proceed, so it causes a loss of 1,120. For the second painting, the painting was sold for 20,000, the commission is 200, so net disposal proceed is 19,800. That painting was purchased for 7,000. So when 7,000 are deducted from there, there is a gain of 12,800. So 1120 of loss and 12,800 of gain, when net off, it will give you 11,680 of net chargeable gain. So that is mean you have to calculate a gain on one asset and loss on other asset, whatever it is, and then you have to net them off. Now for this understanding, on 1st August 2022, Margaret sold a holiday villa for her sister for 25,000. Its market value at that date was 1 lakh. Margaret had acquired the villa on 1st June 2006 for 20,000 and had paid legal fee on acquisition of 500. On 1st May 2011, she had added a conservatory at a cost of 10,000. So here we need to consider the market value 1 lakh and that is the disposal proceed to be considered 1 lakh, and the acquisition cost is 20,000, acquisition incidental cost of acquisition 500 and improvement 10,000. So all these costs are 30,500 in total. So from sale proceed market value of this, it is to be deducted and 69,500 is said to be your gain. In this question, Puteri sold holiday cottage for 75,000. It cost 53,500 and was extended in September 2012 at a cost of 16,000. The state agent and the lawyer's fee for the purchase is 2,300 and the for sale is 5,400. So first we have to consider, and she also sold her grandmother's engagement ring for 12,000. She has inherited this when the ring was of 9,000. So for the first asset, this is 75,000, which is said to be disposal proceed, and you have to deduct the selling cost of 5,400 from this to find out the net disposal proceed, which is 69,600. Then the acquisition cost is 53,500 plus 16,000 of incidental expenses, or no, improvement 16,000, and plus 2,300 of acquisition cost. So it is total 71,800. So 71,800 are total allowable costs. So it will causes a loss of 2,200 on first property. While the second property, 12,000 sale proceed, 9,000 acquisition allowable cost, so it is a gain of 3,000. So you need to net it off, and when you net off, gain of 800 would be result. 2,200 आपके पास आया लॉस, क्योंकि आपकी जो नेट डिस्पोजल प्रोसीड है वो कम थी और एक्विजिशन कॉस्ट ज़्यादा थी. हाउ टू कैलकुलेट दिस 71,800? दिस इज़ द सम ऑफ ऑल दीज थ्री फिगर. 53,500 ओरिजिनल प्राइस, 16,000 improvement, and 23,000 incidental cost of acquisition. A simple question about Tom and Jerry. If we are considering about Tom, in the first year 21-22 there is a chargeable gain of 12,000 and allowable losses of 8,000, means net chargeable gain is 4,000 in that case. And then second year this is 12,900 net chargeable gain. For Jerry it is a 3,000 loss in the first year, and in the next year it is a profit of 13,300, right? Now read the requirement of the question. Calculate the taxable gain for, and taxable gain is calculated after allowing annual exempt amount. So 4,000 gain, when we deduct annual exempt amount from this, there is nothing to left, means no taxable gain in this year for Tom, क्योंकि इसका 4,000 गेन है और 4,000 का गेन एनुअल एग्जाम्प्ट अमाउंट 12,300 से नील हो जाएगा. इन केस ऑफ सेकेंड ईयर इट इज़ अ टैक्सेबल गेन ऑफ 600 ओनली, बिकॉज चार्जेबल गेन था हमारा 12,900. एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ डिडक्टिंग annual exempt amount, it reduces to 600. While in case of Jerry, it was a loss in the first year, and in the second year the gain is 13,300 net chargeable gain. First you have to deduct the annual exempt amount, and then you have to deduct the 1,000 of loss brought forward. So the taxable gain is 0, and apart from this you have to show that 2,000 of remaining loss is available to be set off in the future year chargeable gain against the future year chargeable gain. Right? 2,000 of to carry forward against future net chargeable gain. Next is the same understanding about Gigi and Zain. Now in the tax year 22-23, Zain realized the following chargeable gain: 40,600 on residential property and 20,000 on antique table. Zain has taxable income of 28,700. So taxable income is also given to you, and remember this is taxable income. Zain estimated CGT due and made payment on account 7,860. Calculate the capital gain tax payable. So remember the wording, what is the requirement? This is very, very important. So we have how to present this, how to deduct the annual exempt amount from this. This is what we have to calculate, and how to apply the rate. So for this you have to make 3 columns. First is said to be total, other gains, and residential property gain. So in accordance with this question, we have been given residential property gain 40,600. So it will be mentioned here in total as well. Other gain is mentioned as 20,000, and that will be recorded here. So it is a total amount of 60,600, 20,000 and 40,600. Now you have to deduct the annual exempt amount. Annual exempt amount is given to you 12,300, and from residential property gain it will be deducted. It will be deducted from residential property gain. Remember that. And after this, what is 48,300 is your total gain, 20,000 from this, and 28,300 from residential property. So this is your total gain you have to calculate. There is no capital loss brought forward, so there is no need to deduct that obviously. Then we have to calculate the tax liability, CGT liability. Remember that we have deducted the annual exempt amount from residential property gain. But while calculating CGT, we have to consider what is the unused basic rate band. So as the income of that person is given to you 28,700, and we know that the basic rate band is 37,700. So we are here calculating unused basic rate band. So out of 37,700, 28,700 will be deducted, and unused basic rate band is 9,000. Means on 9,000 of gain you can calculate tax at the basic rate 10%. This is 900. But remember one thing, while calculating the tax liability, CGT liability, you will start from other gain. जैसे हम नॉन सेविंग इनकम पे पहले टैक्स लायबिलिटी कैलकुलेट करते हैं, फिर सेविंग इनकम पे, फिर डिविडेंड पे. सो वैसे ही आपको पहले टैक्स लायबिलिटी कैलकुलेट करनी है अदर गेन्स पे. दिस इज़ 900 प्लस 20,000 में से 9,000 पे हमने टैक्स लायबिलिटी कैलकुलेट कर ली, रिमेनिंग 11,000 एंड दिस इज़ 20%. सो इट विल बी 2,200. Then we have to calculate the tax liability on residential property, which is at the rate of 28%, क्योंकि अब higher rate apply होगा. We don't have unused basic rate band. So on this 28,300, we have to pay tax at the rate of 28%, and that would be 7,924. So total tax liability आ गया आपके पास 7,924 plus 3,100, so this is 11,024. बट इसमें से आप कुछ टैक्स लायबिलिटी पे कर चुके हुए हैं. यू हैव पेड सम अमाउंट एज 7,860. दिस इज टू बी डिडक्टेड. दिस इज CGT लायबिलिटी 7,860. It is to be deducted as this is payment on account. Then we have CGT payable. So 11,024 minus 7,860 gives you amount of 3,164. So 3,164 is your tax payable. So this is how it will be presented, 3,164. Now in this test understanding, residential property is 16,600. In fact, residential property gain is 16,600. Necklace 20,000, land 10,000. Jacob expected to be higher rate taxpayer. So this is the important information given by them. When the residential property disposal was made, his only income was employment income, and this is 44,270. So this is given as employment income. In the previous question they have mentioned taxable income. So what is the difference between employment income and taxable income? Employment income से हमें personal allowance को deduct करना है. We have to subtract the personal allowance from employment income in order to find taxable income. And he paid contribution of 4,000 into the personal pension scheme. So he paid, what does it mean? He paid net amount. So we need to gross it up and extend the basic rate band. Calculate Jacob's capital gain tax payable for the tax year 22-23. So again we have to consider the three column approach: total, other gains, residential gain. So first we need to consider what is the loss, and loss is in that case 16,600. So it will be recorded here 16,600. Then we have necklace, which is to be included in other gains, 20,000. And then we have land, and land will also be recorded in other gains. So total of this would be 16,600, 30,000, and here we have to mention total all these things. So it is 46,600. So as per rule, first we have to deduct the annual exempt amount, and that will be reduced. That will reduce the residential property gain 12,300. So it will be now 34,300 and 4,300, and this will be 30,000. So now we have to calculate tax, but before that we have to find out the unused basic rate band, and first we have to calculate the extended rate band, because in this question we have been given that he has made some contribution. So extended basic rate band will be 37,700 plus 4,000 divided by 80%, because we need to gross it up whatever amount has been paid to personal pension contribution. So 37,700 plus 5,000 will give you 42,700 of basic rate band. Now we have to consider what is his income. His income is given as 44,270. This is. So what is his taxable income? So we are calculating taxable income. If he has 44,270 is employment income, from this we have to deduct the personal allowance of 12,570, and it will be 00713, 31,700 his taxable income. So now we need to consider what is unused basic rate band. Unused basic rate band. So it is 42,700 the extended basic rate band minus 31,700 taxable income. So 11,000 is your unused basic rate band. Now you have to apply first to calculate the tax liability on other gains. 11,000 at the rate of 10% will be 1100. Then 30,000, out of 30,000 we have calculated a tax liability on 11,000. How much remaining left? 19,000. So on 19,000 this is a 20% tax liability, and that will be 3,800. And on this 4,300 of residential property gain, we have to calculate the tax at the rate of 28%. So this will be 4,300 multiplied by 28%, and this will be 1,204. So that is total liability, I think. So this is 6,104, right? And test understanding 6, EV sold a commercial investment property on 1st July 22 for 6,50,300. She had acquired the building for 80,000 and extended it at a cost of 30,000, right? So this is allowable cost. EV also disposed of painting for 20,000, incurring auctioneer fee 1%. She had acquired the painting for 35,000. She had a capital loss brought forward 15,300, and only source of income in the tax year is trading income. Again, you have been given a trading income, means you have to deduct personal loss from this to get the taxable income. The calculation is also about the capital gain tax payable. So we have to consider all these things. So first it is 6,50,300. That is the gain. We have been disposal proceeds 6,50,300. So we have to calculate the gain, which will be gain 6,50,300 is disposal proceed, 80,000 acquisition cost, 30,000 further expenses. So it is 1,10,000 that has to be subtracted from the disposal proceed minus allowable cost. So it is 5,40,300 of gain. So now you have to present it as a total gain or other gain and residential property. If this is residential property or not, this is investment property. So there is no need to mention these columns. Simply you have to consider the first gain is on investment property, and that is 5,40,300. Second, apart from this, we have to calculate the gain or loss on second asset as well, which is 20,000 selling, disposal proceed, and acquisition cost 35,000. So first we have to calculate the gross disposal proceed is 20,000. Acquisition, incidental expenses of sale 1% means 200. So net disposal proceed is 19,800. This is net disposal proceed. Then allowable cost will be deducted from this, and allowable cost is 35,000. So it will cause you a loss of 15,200, right? So first you have to calculate gain and loss on these assets. Now you have to net these off. So gain of net chargeable gain, and that is 5,40,300 minus 15,200. So net chargeable gain would be 5,25,100. Now you have to deduct the annual exempt amount, because all gains are other gains. There is no residential property gain, so we have to deduct the annual exempt amount from there, and this will be 5,25,100 5,25,100. This is 5,12,800. Now we have to deduct the capital losses brought forward, which are given as 15,300. These are capital losses brought forward. So it will be 4,97,500 of the taxable gain. Now you have to calculate the tax liability, but before that you have to find out the unused basic rate band, as this person has an income of 40,270. So from this 40,270 we have to deduct the personal loans of 12,570 in order to find taxable income. So this is 007 and 27. So we need to calculate unused basic rate band. So unused basic rate band will be 37,700 minus 27,700. This is 10,000. So on 10,000 of your income, it will be taxed at the rate of 10%, and remaining 4,87,500 of his income, the tax will be 20%, because this is other gain. Remember that this is not residential property gain. So 20% of this will be 97,500. So this is 1,000 and this is 97,500. So total tax is 98,500, right? So this is the chapter of capital gain.